Hello everybody, my name's Fish, and welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be a little different. It's not going to be any video games. It's not going to be me posting really dumb clips that I got while streaming over on my Twitch, which by the way, you should go follow, twitch.tv/the fish streams. The little bit of editing that I'm going to do, I'll put it up here. So anyways, today we're going to be talking about a manga series that I hold near and dear to my heart, which is really funny because I just started reading this series maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. I picked it up at the beginning of the year, and ever since I have fallen in love with it. I have all the volumes that I own right here in front of me, and we're just gonna talk about it. I don't know how long this video is going to be. It could be 5 minutes. It could be 20 minutes. Who knows? But we're just going to sit here and we're going to talk about it. So I have this book called Hirayasumi by Keigo Shinzo, I think. I think that's his name. I could be wrong. But this series has me by the balls. It is so good. I didn't think that I would like slice of life anything manga related or even anime related. But this has been awesome. Keigo does an amazing job in the storytelling, the art style. Like, there are parts of this art style that I just absolutely love. Like, you'll get bits and pieces. I'm trying to find one so I can kind of show you guys what I mean. But he does these like big art pages. And I know a lot do that. Like, I know a lot of artists do that, but it's just for some reason his are just awesome. And he does this in every single one of these. Like, here's volume 2. Not to, like, if you haven't read it yet, I highly recommend you go do it. But I'm going to be showing a lot of panels from the manga today when I talk about this. So, like, right here, there's a bit in the second volume where the main character and his friend are kind of just like going out on the town. And the art is just amazing. I love it so much. When I first started reading this series, I didn't know what was gonna come out from it or if I was even gonna like it. I've been doing this thing recently where I told myself for the new year I wanted to start reading more. And I have a collection out in my living room that has like all of my manga on it. If I get a chance, I'll put a picture somewhere on screen just to give you an idea. But this like blew my expectations out of the water. I walked into my local bookstore and I immediately went over to the manga section, and like right there on the end cap was Hirayasumi. And I was like, okay, the cover looks cool. I like the art. It's very nice, very pretty. And then I read the back. And at first I was like, okay, this is either going to be really good or it's going to bore the shit out of me. Because it basically tells you, the story follows a 29-year-old by the name of Hiroto. I've butchered so many names while reading this that like I have to look at my partner and be like, hey, how would you pronounce this? That's where my pronunciation has been, and it's not been going well. But basically, Hiroto is just a very down to earth individual who is very carefree. He just doesn't really care. He's just living life to the fullest. And you learn more while reading it kind of why he's so carefree and why he just doesn't really care. Um, again, spoilers. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. Please, if you haven't read it, turn this video off. Go watch something else. But read this when you get a chance, please. I will link a couple of different links in the description, probably just the Amazon link to the first volume. Go check it out. Don't watch this if you haven't yet. But yeah, basically, he is very carefree. You figure out it's because when he was younger, he was an aspiring actor, and he was actually pretty good, and he was in a couple of different movies. After a while, kind of started to weigh on him, and he didn't really like it as much as he used to, so he quit. He cold turkeyed the acting stuff, and he kind of just went on with his life. He now works at a local fish pond, and he's just living life. You figure out the house he lives in is a house that he got from an old lady that he met kind of on a whim. The books love to go back and like give you backstory to those two and like how they met and how they became such good friends. But you kind of learn a lot about Hiruto and the old lady as these flashbacks happen. Sadly, the old lady passes away. She's dead like by maybe like the 4th or 5th page, I think, of the first volume. Like she goes pretty quick. It's depressing as hell, but yeah, so he inherits a house from her, which you learn further down the line why he inherits the house. I'm not going to go too much into it, just because, again, I want people to read this. But he's very grateful for what he has, which is awesome. It's very nice seeing how he kind of takes a crappy situation in this lady that he has only known for like a year or two, I think is what the book says. I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I've read the first one, and I've taken in so much of the rest of it that I'm just all over the place, which is kind of why this video is the way it is, where it's kind of just me talking to a screen. But it's so good. And then you meet his younger cousin, who is an aspiring manga artist who has come to Tokyo to become a manga artist, and she's living with him. And then you kind of learn what their relationship is. You kind of learn what it used to be. You learn all these things about both characters, and then as the manga progresses, you kind of see like what they're like, where their heads at. So like Hirito is just, I don't care. I'm just living life to the fullest. What reason do I have to be upset? You know what I mean? And there are points in the book where, yeah, he does get upset. It happens. But it's very just, he's a very carefree attitude kind of guy. And then you figure out his cousin, which, let me double check the name. Natsumi. Her wanting to be an aspiring manga artist. But, of course, the manga industry in Japan is really hard to get into, and it's very cutthroat, and it's very not what it's chalked up to be. And only very few people get the fortunate chance to be able to get something out there. And she's trying so hard, and she finally gets her big break later in the books. I think around volume 3 or 4, maybe sooner. She gets like a big break, and she loves it. She's like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. And then you kind of see what happens when you hit that kind of fame. And she's talking to her publisher, and her publisher's like, what you're making's dog ass. Like, get this out the door. We don't want it. And she's like, okay, well, I'll try to fix it. And then at the same time, she's like hating herself and the job that she's doing, because she's like, oh, well, I can't write anything good. Like, what's the point of doing this? And then, but she keeps going. She just keeps going because she loves what she does and she wants to be a manga artist. And that is what kind of keeps her going in that. And there are points where you're like, okay, well, maybe she's going to drop. No, she doesn't drop it. Natsumi's the GOAT. And then you meet so many other characters. I don't really have, I should have taken notes. That's what I should have done. I should have taken notes before I did this, kind of just of like all the characters that are in the series. Because I didn't like at all. I guess I could quickly pull up the Wikipedia page and kind of read off of that as we go. But basically, you know, you meet all these other people, and like you meet Hirito's best friend Hideki. He's a couch furniture salesman. And you don't really know what his job is until like later in the series. And this is when it kind of starts to get a little dark, because he hates his job. It's very obvious that the book goes into kind of like Japanese work culture, because he hates his job. And there's even a panel in one of them, and where he's contemplating, like, it's only for like a panel. He's contemplating suicide because he looks at the roof of a building and he's like, I wonder if a fall from that height would be fatal. And it's very depressing, and it just shows Japanese work culture and how it's a very like rough and tumble kind of thing, even in the most like bare bones jobs. But it's such a good book, and it has a live action. But I'm not gonna watch it personally. I'm not the biggest like manga to live action kind of guy. It's just not my thing. Maybe I'll watch it later, but right now I have no plans to. But if you get around to it, check it out. Let me know how it is. But I want to go more into it. And I think it deserves another video where I sit down and like I actually put something together. But I wanted to get a video out on this now to kind of talk about it and kind of just ramble for a little bit. And I think I did a good job. I'm at about 14 minutes of just rambling about Hirayasumi. That's probably what this is going to be. If I decide to make another video on this, I'm just going to ramble and talk about how I feel and how I interpret things on these series. And I'm going to try to find the panels while I'm while I do some editing. I'm not going to do a lot, but I'm going to do some. Like, I'm going to put like the cover for the book, my Twitch, go check it out. I'm going to put some of the panels that I talk about. I'm going to try to do some, kind of just to give you an idea, so it's not just me staring at a screen. But yeah, if you like this kind of content and you want to see more of me kind of just rambling about manga that I like, or even manga that you want to recommend, leave a comment. Leave a comment, give me a series. I will check it out, even if I don't buy it. Like personally, like even if I don't like purchase all the crazy like volumes, I will still check it out. I will give it a read. I will read anything. I will give it a shot. Just whether or not I like it is kind of where it falls. But yeah, no, leave a like, comment if you want to see another one of these. and give me a series to read or check out. And who knows, maybe I'll like it enough and it'll become another Hirayasumi, and I will make another one of these where I just ramble. But anyways, thank you for listening to me ramble for the 15 minutes that I rambled. I highly appreciate it. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you.